In our day-to-day lives, we are dependent on technology. From the news on TV screens to our social media on our phones, it is evident that it has become a pivotal force of our nature. However, as we are dependent on technology, technology is also dependent on something. And that is what we will be discussing today. Good day everyone, good day Ma'am Chi, and we will be discussing to you the process and products of science and technology. But what is science as a process? It is the systematic approach to discovering knowledge, while science as a product is the accumulated knowledge. Essentially, the process is about how we learn, while the product is what we learn. Now let us move on to the example of science as a process.
Now for an example of science as a process, the law of buoyancy. I noticed that some objects float, while others sink in water, which made me curious. I asked, why do some objects float and others sink? I guess that objects float if the upward force, buoyant force, is equal to or greater than their weight. To test this, I did an experiment with clay. First, I shaped the clay into a ball and placed it in water. It sunk. Then, I shaped a ball into a float and finally, it floated. From my experiment, I concluded that the shape and density of an object determine if it will float or sink.
And now, an example of science as a product is the buoyancy law. This is applied in our ship to be able to float on water. The ship manufacturers use this law by adjusting the amount of water in their ballast tanks to be able to change the volume of water displaced. By altering the buoyancy law, it allows the ship to float despite their immense weight. Another example of applying buoyancy law is when we are diving. When a diver enters the water, their body displays the amount of water equal to their volume. If the buoyant force is greater than the diver's weight, they will float. And in a nutshell, buoyancy law is beneficial in our society, especially in water transportation. And now, let's move on to what technology as a process and a product.
Now, what is technology as a process? In simple terms, it is about how innovation happens, while technology as a product is about the result of that innovation. Now, let us move on to the example of technology as a process.
Example of technology as a process is the evolution of printer, and it is one of the most helpful device that would help a student to print some documents and images into paper. And why did the printer has been made? In around 1440, at the time there was a trend in attaching small mirrors to one's hat or clothes in order to soak up healing powers when visiting holy places or icons. And a German man named Johannes Gutenberg was quite desperate to find a way to make money, and that is printing press. Because of the printing press, there are innovations that has been made years by years, like the printer that is connected to phones. There are larger printers that is for tarpaulins, and even printers of receipt in the cashier.
And as an example of technology as a product, it was mentioned earlier that we have printing press. And now, technology has produced printers. Through the result of evolution, it has elevated our quality of life. It makes our daily work much easier. From books, newspapers, documents, and many more, they are published with the help of printers, which in many ways help us in our studies, works, and daily lives. So printers are one of the most valuable assets of every home, schools, and offices.
And I therefore conclude that science and technology help society, and society help build science and technology that produce products of this contemporary world. And that is all for today's video. Thank you. 1, 2, 3. Bye-bye!